Okay, we'll have the next speaker from Indonesia, Dr. Darda Efendi. Dr. Darda Efendi is a professor at the Plant Biotechnology Division, Department of Agronomy and Horticulture, Faculty of Agriculture, IPB University, Bogor, Indonesia. He obtained his PhD from the University of Florida. His research group has worked on tropical fruits, including mangosteens, durian, avocados, mangoes, bananas, and papaya, and other minor fruits, including Sapodilla, in areas including crop production, post-harvest management, genetic diversity, and molecular marker development and analysis. He is also currently Secretary of International Research Institute for Food, Nutrition, Health, and Halal, IPB, and also Secretary of the PhD program for plant breeding and biotechnology at IPB University. Dr. Dara's presentation is an overview of Sapodilla production, cultivation systems, and market development in Indonesia. Please proceed, Dr. Dara. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Jacob.
Yeah, can you share your?
Yeah. Can see my slide?
Yes, very clear. Thank you.
Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting me to this webinar. Thank you to the CEO and for Pak Jacob, and thanks to all of the audience. Since I have limited time, I go just forwards to present my presentation and overview of Sapodilla production, cultivation systems, and markets developments in Indonesia. This is just utilization of Sapodilla fruits in Indonesia, just family consume and community food security, and some commercial fresh fruits, and small scales, not really small, it's actually micros to small scales enterprises, processed products, but still in the beginning of developments of this system. It's many variation in form and shapes of Sapodilla or Sapodia in Indonesia in terms of also the taste and quality. And actually in Indonesia, we just released 9 varieties, but actually in the fields, Indonesia exhibit high genetic and phenotypic variability, reflecting its long history of seeds-based propagations, it's not clonal propagations, and the Sapodilla adaptation to across diverse agroecological conditions in Indonesia. This is, as we know, is minor or underutilized fruits crops, primarily just in the yard, or we call it pekarangan cultivation, backyard cultivations, and part of agroforestry system which mix farming, urban farming, and now in the urban farming, people start to do the container gardening, as seen in some of the picture. And we know it's biological valuables, but economically still underdeveloped in Indonesia. It's also play as multifunctional trees, as fruit trees of shades in the around the house, and windbreaks in the orchard, and lack of commercial plantation system with uniform variety, technology, and management. So it's scattered everywhere, but it's not makes a big commercial plantation. This is the newest statistic that I have. This Sapodilla is ranks just 16th among the 21 fruits that have the statistics data in Indonesia. This is after banana, mango, pineapples, mandarin, tangerine, durian, snake fruits, papaya, jackfruits, rambutan, avocado, apples, guava, mangosteens, longcons, and wax apples, and then is Sapodilla. So it's minor with share just less than, just about 0.7% to the totals of Indonesia fruit productions. Around production is in the last 8 years is just about 160,000 kilograms tons, 160,000 tons per year. So it's minor, but has a niche market, relatively stable price, and luckily it's available year round. Mostly cultivated from low to medium elevations, but some varieties can be also grown in the highlands, but mostly in low and medium elevations. Okay, and more than 80% of production are in Sumatra and Java. This is the production centers. This is Sumatra, about 42% of the share, and Java 42.6%. And then West Nusa Tenggara and East Nusa Tenggara in the eastern part of Indonesia, 11%. Kalimantan just 5.6%. And Sulawesi or Celebes and Maluku is just 0.8%, and Irian, so Papua, West Papua is 0.14%. So mostly, since also the population is mostly sitting in Java and Sumatra, so also the Sapodilla or Sawo or Chiku. And this is the top 10 of production centers: West Java, Central Java, Lampung and Sumatra, East Java, and then North Sumatra. The 5 big one is more than 50% share of Indonesia Sapodilla productions. And then the next, the 6th and to the 10th is West Nusa Tenggara, West Sumatra, South Sumatra, Riau, Sumatra, Aceh, Sumatra. And then 28, the last data, 25 other provinces just share 14% total production. Okay. And this is the data top 10 producer of Sapodilla in Indonesia for the last 8 years. We see, let's see this graph. They see increasing and decreasing of production by the years and by the province. Maybe it's many causes these problems, but once the possible is alternate bearing, when every time trees full of fruits, and then the next year they will drop the production because of lacks of the energy, lacks of the source of for the fruit development. So data show some provinces have the step slopes of decreasing and increasing of the productions, but some other province look like more stable. That depends on the climates and other factors. But if we look on Indonesia as a whole, in the last 8 years, there is positive growth trends by 16%, or the average production increased by 2% per year. But as we know, the problem is Sapodilla is the very short shelf life. So sometimes it cannot be bring from the eastern province to the western province because it's quite far away. Okay. The production fluctuation across the province and also actually Indonesia also there is increasing and alternate bearing problems. The cause of this is asynchronous flowering, where flowering is not like mango can be very synchronous in one time season. Upwork, see this picture in one time there is different size, and this is already big, and this is just starting to fruiting, flowering. I mean, and also the climate variability in Indonesia is sorry. We have at least equatorial types, Sumatra, Kalimantan, and then Irians, and then monsoon types climates. So might be, and we think slightly about the global warming and climate change. This will affect also the yield and alternate bearing of the Sapodilla. And also based other problem is production system characteristic that's just based on backyard cultivation systems, no big commercial plantation for the Sapodilla, and also tree-age structure, mostly lots of old trees from the last generations still continue to fruiting, and then also very variation in genotypes. Too many genotypes, we difficult to find the uniform size, form, shape, and quality of the mangoes, sawo, chiku, or sapodilla. And also, of course, some problem of pest and disease, although the pest and disease in sapodilla is not as bad as the others major commodity. And also harvest and reporting factors, market-driven factors, and also land use change. Sometimes people just cut the tree, the sapodilla, and change to more valuables, more money-earning commodities. Okay, and the the ultimate problems of Sapodilla is also already said. That's harvest and post-harvest. Irregular and asynchronous flowering and fruiting can be seen as a problem and can see also be as opportunities, but for the commercial and modern market is difficult to control to get quite a lot of fruits from asynchronous behavior. And also poor post-harvest performance, the problems come from the soft fruits and very thin peels. So, and also there are climacteric fruit. So there is a sudden increase in the ethylene productions and also other ripening process during the ripening process. And also very sensitive to seeding injury because it's very tropical. Also, I also find the the Sapodilla in Florida beyond the 23 knots of the and so sensitive to chilling injury and rapid softening and susceptible to mechanical damage as seen in the picture. And in the market, just check the consumer check the maturity of the fruits by push the fruits by the finger and then makes uh, mechanical damage that process the senescence more faster. And these problems is a major barrier to long distance trades and export market. Yeah, this is just the same things I said, the climate report, high metabolic activity and respiration, because after the climatic peaks, the respiration peaks and the metabolic activity is increased and makes fruits senescence more rapidly. And weak skin barriers and also because weak skin barrier, the problem is also post-harvest automation is almost impossible for normal machines. We should create the soft handles machine, not like a mango or others major commodity that have good skin peel. And also there is also latex residues extremely short shelf life. This is some damage I found in street vendor markets. See, this in a supermarket, but still have consumer mechanicals by consumers. Markets as minor fruits, first of course for the family consumptions, non-commercial or just for the local community, and then also limited market integration. Mostly we find in the traditional markets, and we find in few in supermarket, and lately a few in e-commerce, in online sellers. Price vary across locations and across e-commerce. No export chains. Then also weak brandings, no strong identity in modern markets. Is still see as traditional fruits, low value fruits, and also limits demands growth. And also because the problems, the next problem is low economic priority for the farmers, not primary incomes, often secondary or supplementary, and farmers invest minimally input, give low management priority. So mostly just we can say the organics, no input, non-organic inputs to the trees, because just sometimes just see no external input to the trees. This is in the some of the street vendors. The price is about $1 per kilograms. In the supermarket, about $2 per kilograms. But in the e-commerce, the price is sometimes more than $2. So the e-commerce just to sell the Sapodilla to 1 or 2 days in the transit, okay? So cannot also go far beyond the Jakarta greater city, for examples. But they start to, of course, they sense not the fully ripe Sapodilla, they sense the mature but non-ripe Sapodilla. Okay. the different price in different city, and also in e-commerce we can find also seedling from the seeds. They sell seedling, they sell grafting, planting materials, budding, or also they sell the trees that already bear fruits, especially for container gardening in the urban farming. Okay, and some research and developments in Indonesia, although limited research and developments, especially fewer breeding programs, because breedings of woody perennials crop is very time consuming and very many problems. Nobody wants to funding to give funds for minor woody perennial crops like Sapodilla. So limited parietal improvements, minimal post-harvest innovation, but some or try to do some research in the post-harvest. So slow technological improvements, weak value chain structure. But this is some Sapodilla research in Indonesia in area, some by the BS students, master students, some for the PhD students, dissertation for PhD students. For example, this classifying the ripeness levels of Sapodilla fruits from texture and color features. This is also the maturity, physiological maturity of the Sapodilla can be difficult to observe. Design and developments of.
Dr. Darda, can you wrap up in 2 minutes?
Okay, see.
Thank you.
And then also post-harvest edible coating, because the ultimate problem is post-harvest. So some edible coatings and also methods of storage, weight loss and developments or respiration rates, different storage periods, container and temperature, using calcium chlorides, using methyl cyclopropane or MCP, and then others post-harvest. And then also this is need to be developed more is research on phytochemicals activities, the antibacterial activity for test Sapodilla fruits extract, effect of Sapodilla extract from E. coli growth, formulation activity of juice and Sapodilla juice on microbes, and other things that also from skin moisturizer, phytochemical screening, phytochemical characterization, effect of Sapodilla juice extract on red blood glucose, and other things about the effects of phytochemicals activities of extract either fruits or leaf or bark or other part of the Sapodilla trees. And then processed products, making puddings, jams, chips, syrups, and try to improve the economy of village by diversification process, not just depends on the fresh fruits marketing, probiotic drink, and then just few more. The potential of Sapodilla Indonesia, large domestic market, wide agrological adaptability, year-round productions, non-seasonal fruits, safe and consumer-friendly fruits, especially for me that cannot eat the sour fruits. So Sapodilla is the most low fruits for me. And high genetic diversity, we can find lots of difference in size, shapes, and quality. Because we can use as to improve the collection of the new variety. Low input and climate resilience, potential for value-added products, functional nutritional value, integration into agroforestry systems, opportunities from micro to small, medium enterprise-based industry development. And then constraints also, of course, there's some constraints, challenge, problems, production system, irregular fruiting and harvesting, post-harvest limitation because of the nature of the biological or physiological characteristic of the Sapodilla. Then storage and logistic constraints, very sensitive to chilling injury, and also limited cold storage options, weak cold chain infrastructure, so high post-harvest losses, market and value chain constraints, economic constraints, and then research and development gaps. Research, we are doing some research, but still in the laboratory levels, lack of product diversification at scale, at economic scale, and land use and competition with more major, more valuable crops. So there is a mismatch between its biological characteristics and modern markets or logistic systems. So future strategies for Sapodilla development is Sapodilla development should focus on value, not just the volume, because difficult to handle high volumes, soft, easy to damage products. And also to move beyond minor underutilized fruits and niche market, we need to develop value addeds, post-harvest innovation, branding and rebranding from traditional fruits to the something different, something used for health and other things. Value chain integration and research developments are needed to post-harvest, of course, the most important thing, physiological post-harvest physiology improvement, shelf life extension technology that we start, but still a lot things to do in the improving shelf life extension, and varietal selection and breeding might be not a conventional breeding, but we just doing, for example, fruit competition, Sapodilla competition, then find the best genotypes that we can find, and need to be clonal propagations for elite genotypes. I think thank you and terima kasih. Hope you understand my English.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you, Dr. Darda. Yes,